2020 has been unlike anything we've seen before.
Schools, businesses, and our own way of life has shut down.
But Scouting found a way to continue.
We couldn't go to class, play sports, or see our friends.
But National held a virtual camp-in with 1.6 million participants.
And the Longhouse Council held its first ever virtual camporee.
Scouts have earned over 150,000 merit badges, from citizenship in the world to sustainability to movie making.
And for the first time in 52 years, Boy Power has gone virtual, and we are now on track to beating records for virtual fundraising throughout all of Scouting.
Please welcome our Master of Ceremonies, Doug Logan.
Good evening and welcome to the 52nd annual and first ever virtual Boy Power event presented by Pinnacle Family of Companies. Thank you, Eagle Scout Nate Madison, for that warm welcome. You know, tonight is all about scouting and community, and we thank you for joining us. Before we get started, let's check in with some of our scouts who are making their way to camp right now.
We've been counting down the days to get back to camp, but the only countdown that matters is 44321.
Text Boy Power to 44321 to help send us to camp.
That was an important message from our scouts. Our scouters and staff are making a difference in the lives of nearly 4,000 scouts across central and northern New York. Your generosity makes it all possible. So please text Boy Power to 44321 to help send a scout to camp. Let's hear from a man who's making a difference in all of our lives in this COVID time. Onondaga County Executive Ryan McMahon.
Hello everybody, this is Onondaga County Executive Ryan McMahon. We've been through a lot together as a community, and your motto, be prepared, is one that we've all had to live by when we've been fighting the COVID-19 virus during this pandemic. And I just want to tell all of you how proud I am of you. You have gone through, you've stayed the course, you've gone through and earned your badges, you've earned your lessons, and you've seen leaders throughout this community rise up to the occasion in some cases, and in other cases not. But you'll be prepared. You'll learn from this pandemic. Our community is learning from this pandemic, and we'll be stronger when it's all said and done. I want to congratulate all the honorees tonight and thank them for their service and really their support for all of our scouts. Let's be prepared as we move forward, not just fighting pandemics, but when we look at rebuilding our communities throughout our country and rebuilding our economy. Congratulations, I'm so proud of all our scouts.
County Executive, thank you for your remarks and leadership during this trying time. You know, it wouldn't be Scouting without an opening ceremony, so please welcome members of Scouting's National Honor Society, the Order of the Arrow, as they present the national colors.
Attention! Color guard, forward march! Color guard, halt! Color guard, post the American colors.
Color guard reform. Face the flag. Scout salute. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God,
indivisible,
With liberty
and justice for all.
Thank you to our scouts in the Order of the Arrow and all of those scouts showing duty to country with the Pledge of Allegiance. To those that are joining us tonight, perhaps for the first time, please consider a donation by texting Boy Power to 44321 this evening. Those funds will go to our campership to help send scouts to camp. Also tonight, we have our silent auction with items large and small, our limited edition silver and bronze Boy Power Scout Power coin sale, and the auction for the #1 silver coin, first of 50 numbered coins cast in silver. Your bids may be securely placed by going to our website at cnyscouts.org/boypower. You know, the North Star Award is a prestigious national award bestowed on an adult who is not a registered Scouter, but has shown exceptional service to Scouting. We now go to M&T Bank for a special presentation by Scout Executive Gray Rowland and Longhouse Council President Patrick Rayo.
Good evening. As the Scout Executive of the Longhouse Council, it is my privilege to convene this National Court of Honor for the sole purpose of presenting Alan Naples with the North Star Award. The North Star Award is the highest award that a citizen can receive who is not registered within the Boy Scouts of America for service to youth in Central and Northern New York. Alan was selected by a committee of our volunteers for the outstanding job that he has done for our community.
Alan, on behalf of all the Scouters and Scouts in the BSA program, especially those here in Central and Northern New York, we appreciate everything that you've done for Scouting and will do for Scouting that allows us to bring our mission to these most deserving men and women in Central and Northern New York. So congratulations.
And now, it's my privilege to invite you, in the spirit of COVID, to put on the medal representing the North Star Award.
Thank you very much, both of you gentlemen, and also for the entire Scouting organization. Never been a Scout in my entire life, although as many times I thought I should have and wish I would have been one, but none of my family were. But I can tell you that the traditions that you teach, the skills that you teach, I see every day in people that I deal with. And when we interview or have people that have been Scouts moving up in the organization, you can definitely see the difference in terms of what Scouting has made. So Central New York and Northern New York are very proud to have this type of organization here, and we appreciate everything you've done, and I thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Alan.
Thanks.
Hi, my name is Emily, and thanks to the contributions of M&T Bank, I've been able to be on staff at national events.
Hi, I'm Greg, and thanks to the contributions of Phil Rubenstein, I was able to go to Philmont Scout Ranch in New Mexico and able to climb the Tooth of Time.
Hi, I'm Sydney, and I would like to thank Bon, Shenik, and King for your donation. Because of you, I've been able to staff a leadership course in Washington, D.C.
Hi, I'm Frankie, and thanks to the contribution of Brown & Brown Empire State, I can help teach younger Scouts useful skills.
When I say text, you say boy power text.
Boy power.
Text.
Boy power.
When I say text, you say boy power text.
Boy power.
Text.
Boy power.
When I say text, you say boy power text.
Boy power.
Text.
Boy power.
When I say text, you say boy power text.
Boy power.
Text.
Boy power.
When I say text, you say boy power text.
Boy power.
Text.
Boy power.
Even in this time of COVID shutdowns and restrictions, our Scouts are working hard, finding a way to meet, earn badges and ranks, serve our community, and have a little fun. Normally at this time, we would recognize the Eagle Scouts in the room. Tonight, we need to settle for a simple but heartfelt thank you to our Eagle Scouts. We're all searching for things to look forward to, so let's remember that in 2021, we have a very exciting announcement to make. We'll be welcoming our first female Eagle Scouts. How about that? Now, for a very special and rare event, we join Scouts Frankie and Sydney.
Scouts are prepared for life.
Occasionally, our skills are put to the test.
Tonight we're honoring 2 Scouts and 1 adult with meritorious service awards for bravery.
Tonight we honor an adult leader and 2 Scouts for their meritorious actions. Faced with an emergency medical situation that resulted in a potential drowning in icy waters, their fast actions and Scout skills saved a person's life. Brian Wolford, who can't be with us, is hereby receiving the BSA Medal of Merit. Jack Balk is hereby receiving the BSA Medal of Merit. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Robert Balk is hereby receiving the National Heroism Award. Robert, congratulations. On behalf of the Longhouse Council, thank you for your bravery, your heroism, and your skills. You make us all proud to be Scouts.
Our Scouts are ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Such a presence of mind. We're grateful for your fast action and scouting skills. Now, on a lighter note, let's check in with our Scouts who just sent me a text saying they have a new Scout cheer.
The other day, I saw a trust. The greatest trust.
The greatest
It
trust.
was Tompkins Trust.
It was Tompkins Trust.
The other day, I saw a trust. The greatest trust. It was Tompkins Trust.
Let's go, you guys!
Thank you, Tompkins Trust, for sponsoring our Send a Kid to Camp campaign.
That was great. We live in a digital world right now, so everyone should be good with the technology we're facing. We've had plenty of practice to be sure. Please text Boy Power to 44321 tonight to send a kid to camp. Your contributions are vitally important and very much appreciated.
Hi, I'm Nate, and I would like to thank Toshiba Business Solutions for your donation because thanks to you, I have been able to gain valuable leadership skills for life.
Hi, I'm Greg, and thanks to the contributions because of Cumulus Media, I've been able to camp at Sabaz for 5 years where I've been canoeing, hiking, biking, and even able to sleep on islands out in the beautiful Adirondacks.
Hi, I'm Muhammad, and thanks to Plumbers and Steam Fitters 267, I was able to meet friends that I would otherwise not meet.
Hi, I'm Frankie, and thanks to the Huber Brewer Construction Company, I'm able to spend my summers at wonderful camps like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for the presentation of the Longhouse Council Distinguished Citizen Award. Please welcome the 2020 Boy Power Chairman, Mark Mathumby.
Good evening. My name is Mark Mathumby, and I'm the Regional President of Excellus Blue Cross and Blue Shield of the Central New York region. I'm honored to have served as a 2020 chair for this 52nd Boy Power event presented by the Pinnacle family of companies. Thank you, Greg Kidd and the Pinnacle family of companies for being the presenting sponsor again this year. Of all the events hosted by the council, this is the first ever impacted by a global event. There are many changes this year, starting with no dinner. Despite that, the generosity of our supporters, large and small, has provided critical funding for the scouting program in Northern and Central New York. I thank you all for making us a priority tonight in this virtual format with everything that is going on. I first got involved with Boy Scouts as a corporate board member. Soon after, I began to realize and learn the positive outlet and impact that the organization has for the youth that we serve. My involvement took a personal turn 2 years ago when our son Bryce asked my wife, Teresa, and me if he could join the program. With the council's guidance, we joined Troop 80 in Baldwinsville, and it has been a great family experience and a great outlet for our son. As the 2020 Boy Power Chair, I would like to extend my gratitude to all who have made this event a success. And if I could single out a few, I'd like to recognize all troop leaders, leaders like Mr. Brandage, who are part and parcel of the volunteer team for the council. Hats off to you for what you do for our young people. Thank you to the Longhouse Council Executive Board for your commitment, direction, particularly in these unprecedented times. My appreciation also goes to the council staff, steering group, volunteers who are always at the ready for everything pertaining to this event. Gray Rowland, Milt Hill, Tom Cooney, Jonathan Pinkney, Bill Broad, Mike McGrew, Abby Hughes. Thank you so much for your support. It has been a lot of fun being part of this amazing team. To our virtual production team, who charted a new territory for us, Scott Armstrong, John Lukács, David Four of Visual Technologies, and the staff and talent at the Pinkney Hugo Group, thank you for making sure that we had an event this year. To our Master of Ceremonies, Doug Logan, your long-standing service as MC and supporter of Boy Power for over 27 years is very, very much appreciated. This event would not have been possible without the generous support of our incredible sponsors, supporters, and the community at large. The council is particularly grateful for you for standing with us during these challenging times. Special thanks to our guest speaker, New York Giants great, the legendary Phil Simms, for your remarks tonight and making this long tradition, but our first ever virtual format extra special. There's no successful business that exists without the community. The Huber Brewer Company, under the leadership of Jim Brewer, is a philanthropic organization that has been a fabric of this community for 6 generations. Since 1872, Huber Brewer has built some of the most notable landmarks and facilities in this area while giving back and enriching our community. To Andy and Charlie Brewer, your involvement, enthusiasm, and hard work in this event to honor your dad have been exceptional. And to Jim Brewer, we celebrate you tonight for your leadership, impact in this community. We thank you for your inspiration, your generosity, and the investment in our youth. Congratulations on your selection as a Longhouse Council 2020 Distinguished Citizen of the Year. Now let's watch the video honoring Jim.
Longhouse Council proudly serves the scouting community of Central and Northern New York. Thousands of adult volunteers, our professional staff, and the generosity of our donors continue to deliver an outstanding program of leadership, character development, adventure, and fun. 2020 has not turned out to be the year that any of us have expected. While schools, business, entertainment, and nearly every activity has been canceled or restricted, Scouting has found a way to continue to serve our youth. While Sabattis Scout Reservation must look forward to our campers next year, Longhouse Council has used safety and innovation to provide exciting day camp opportunities for our scouts this summer. Scouting is now open to all youth, and our mission is to provide a dynamic scouting experience to every child or young adult that wants one. In 2021, we will welcome our first class of female Eagle Scouts in BSA history. Thanks to your generous support, we are able to deliver on that promise. We look forward to the day in the near future where we will once again be together and enjoying the adventure of the great outdoors. Until then, Longhouse Council will continue to find a way to scout on. On behalf of the thousands of Cub Scouts, Scouts BSA, Venturers, Sea Scouts, and Explorers, thank you for your support. Longhouse Council, Boy Scouts of America, is proud to recognize Jim Brewer as our 2020 Citizen of the Year. Jim Brewer is the man behind Huber Brewer Construction Company and has built some of the most notable buildings and facilities in Central New York. A proud sixth-generation family-owned construction and construction management company, Huber Brewer is committed to making a lasting impact on our community. Please enjoy this tribute to Jim Brewer by some of those who know him best.
People look at our father and they see somebody who's just always been committed to excellence and committed to doing well for his community.
He's a strong family man. He's raised a great family and is always part of the community.
Jim has been involved in the leadership at Syracuse University, Loretto, CBA, Francis House, the Scouts.
He genuinely just cares about Syracuse and the well-being of the community, and if there is any sort of foundation that needs his help or support, he is always willing to do it.
I think what makes Dad the man that he is a self-motivation and drive. Whether it's family, Huber Brewer, his community, he puts everything he can into making those around him better than they were the day before.
One of the most wonderful and unwavering things that Jim is a friend.
Jim's greatest quality is loyalty to his family and his friends. If I needed his help, there would be nothing he wouldn't do for me.
He is a trustworthy individual, a person of his word.
Whether he's completing a building on time or bringing in the biggest fish, he's determined.
Loyal to his vision of what he wants this community to be, loyal to his vision of what he sees for his company's future, and loyal to his family.
He's committed. It could be the SU board, it could be the big buildings he's building, or it could even be a problem with a friend's boat radio. He's your guy.
Who's ever taken on a do-it-yourself project, if Jim catches wind of it, chances are he will cancel whatever plans he has so that he can be there to help you. You know, it's Tim the Toolman Taylor meets Lee Iacocca meets MacGyver sometimes. He's just got that brain.
I feel like as a child, he was really left to his own devices quite a bit. I think it kind of molded him to really learn how to work hard and find his way.
When Jim graduated from college, he almost didn't join Huber Brewer. It was a small local construction company at the time, and Jim wasn't sure it was right for him. But he joined Huber Brewer, built a team, and has led it to be the super successful company it is today and in its sixth generation.
I would say Jim has been shaped very much by his family. Not only the family members that have come before him, but the family members he has in his world right now.
When I think of the way that he's taught Charlie and I to come up in business, it's really to think about things creatively, think about them ingenuitively. He is right-brained.
After walking in Dad's shoes over these past few years, the one thing that amazes me the most is looking back to our childhood, Dad never brought work home.
As busy as my dad is, growing up, he never missed a thing. It's just amazing how he's always been able to balance his work life with his family life.
So my mom always jokes that it's very hard to, enter a room at an event or a gala with my father because he has to stop at every table and say hi to somebody. But the more Charlie and I get embedded in this business and in this industry, in this community, it's easy to understand that there has always been for Jim that opportunity to meet a new owner, new stakeholders, new banker, new attorney. So you get invested in those folks' issues and you start to look very holistically at the community.
Jim and his company, Huber Brewer Construction, have built more facilities and buildings in Central New York than any other local company. That's a contribution that really stands out.
Jim, family, and company have had a tremendous impact on Central New York. But it's not just the beautiful buildings that they build. It is the unknown and unheralded time and treasure that have made his presence so deeply felt here in Central New York.
So congratulations, and thank you for all that you have done and continue to do for our community.
What a nice honor to be recognized by the Scouts. Congratulations, Dad.
We love you so much. Thank you for being such an incredible role model.
Congratulations, Dad. You deserve it.
Good evening.
and thank you for tuning in to tonight's virtual Boy Power event. The motto of the Boy Scouts is, be prepared. This evening's event happens to be a perfect example of the Scouts training, be prepared. As little as 5 months ago, we were all anticipating another fun evening with a packed house at On Center. There were many discussions about new ways to say thank you to our loyal supporters, maybe some drones within the On Center, a live auction, a fun meet and greet with Phil Sims. Boy, did that all change in a hurry, and continues to change almost daily. Leadership adapted and prepared, and here we are. Though not as envisioned, it is a successful event for providing the Longhouse Council well-deserved recognition and financial resources. Thank you, Mark Mathumby, for your leadership, and the entire dinner committee for your tremendous effort. First, let me say what a privilege it is to be here this evening and to be the honoree at Boy Power, humbly joining a list of very distinguished past honorees. Names like Fitzpatrick, Simpson, Rubenstein, Mordew, Beheim, Pirro, Walsh, our trusted Toastmaster Doug Logan, many, many others, and of course my good friend in last year's honoree, Had Fuller. To my family, friends, and colleagues that participated in my introduction video, a very sincere thank you. You're all great, future movie stars for sure, even if your noses may have grown a little during the filming. Thanks again. If I could tell a short story, there was a little conspiracy that took place after last year's Boy Power dinner. It sort of went like this. My cell phone rings. The name Kent Severud pops up. As always, a great conversation about SU and all the terrific things that are going on there. And then the Chancellor brings up scouting, how important scouting was to his early personal development and the great programs that are offered for young men and women. And he adds, oh, by the way, just a heads up, Jim, the council is going to ask you to be the 2020 Boy Power honoree. I gotta go, we'll talk later, bye. Just as I hang up the phone, another call comes in, Had Fuller. Hey buddy, thanks so much for agreeing to be the 2020 honoree. You'll be great, we're gonna raise a lot of money. Gotta go, bye. Yikes. So after the dust settled, I agreed, and I'm certainly glad I did. If my presence as Boy Power honoree has assisted the Longhouse Council to raise funds this evening in funding of their much-needed programs, it makes me very pleased. The ongoing backing of so many of tonight's sponsors and the added support of those that have participated due to the Brewer family request has been tremendous. Under the conditions of these uncertain and settled times, the Scouts and I are overwhelmed by your generous support and extremely grateful. Thank you so much. This Boy Power dinner is a mainstay to allow the chapter to continue programs of youth character development and values-based leadership training. The Scout Law has 12 points for each Scout to live by. Trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Who wouldn't want a person with those attributes in their family, in their school, in our community, or in your business? Additionally, Scouting teaches responsibilities and puts young people in leadership challenges at a young age. I was very lucky to have strong mentors and leaders within my family. My father was Navy and all about family, love of country, and demanded high standards of behavior. My grandfather was the same and exemplified the benefits of hard work and leadership. Both these men put me in leadership challenges at a young age, a challenge that has served me well over my career. I always tried to surround myself with individuals that showed good leadership skills. The construction of large, complex buildings requires not only technical skills, but a high level of leadership. The ability to coordinate the efforts of so many other companies and professionals, each having their own agenda, yet each having to work in harmony with the other to provide their expertise and products as the project progresses. This leadership ability of our team has proven out again and again throughout the portfolio projects Huber Brewer has completed. Projects that become residence, academic buildings, office buildings, community support facilities, manufacturing facilities, senior housing, medical and hospital operations, and student housing. My 2 sons have now joined our family business and the family traditions as a 6th generation. They have learned well and practiced the values of caring, community, innovation, integrity, and legacy. All words that are part of who we are as a family and a company. These values are especially relevant as we live in the unsettled times of today. So again, thank you for this tremendous honor, but most of all, thank you for your support of Scouting and for providing young men and women the opportunity to learn and train and become our future leaders. God bless.
Heartiest congratulations to Jim Brewer on being selected our 2020 Distinguished Citizen. And thank you very much to the entire Brewer family for your generous support of Scouting. Well, I just got a strange text from our Scouts. There seems to be some trouble. They're not quite to camp yet, so let's check in with them now.
I'm out of water.
I lost my boot.
We're so close to camp.
Guys, where's Greg?
Here I am.
Please text Boy Power to 44321.
Let's get our Scouts to camp. Campership donations can be made right now by texting Boy Power to 44321. If you want something back for your money, we have an online silent auction. Our limited edition silver and bronze Boy Power Scout Power coin sale and the auction for the #1 silver coin. First of 50 numbered coins cast in silver and the 10th coin in the series. All items can be viewed and all bids can be entered by going to cnyscouts.org/boypower. The online silent auction is open until 11:59 p.m. Sunday night, but the auction for the #1 silver coin closes tonight at 9 p.m. So bid now and bid to win.
Hi, my name is Emily, and thanks to the generosity of the CNY Business Journal, I'll be able to become an Eagle Scout.
Hi, I'm Sydney. Thank you to Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield for your contributions. Because of you, me and thousands of other Scouts are able to learn leadership skills that we will use throughout our lives.
Hi, I'm Mohamed, and thanks to Plumbers and Steam Fitters 267, I was able to meet friends that I would otherwise not meet.
Hi, I'm Natalie, and I'd like to thank Arnold Rubenstein for his generous donation. Because of donors like him, I could join Boy Scouts National Honor Society.
I love trees.
Hey, what's for dinner?
Great, we made it.
Greg, let's make a fire. Let's get fired.
Oh man,
I'm gonna unpack.
For every one of us, there's hundreds of other Scouts that want to go to camp. Please text Boy Power to 44321. Thank you for your generosity.
Looks like our Scouts made it to camp and we're mighty happy about it. Thank you to everyone who has donated. If you haven't, please consider doing so now. Our goal is to ensure every youth that wants a Scouting experience gets one. Now we're excited to hear from tonight's guest speaker. Phil Simms is a true legend, a first-round draft pick who became an elite quarterback and a top football analyst. Playing his entire 15-year career in the National Football League for the New York Giants, he is a 2-time Super Bowl champion, a Super Bowl MVP, and a 2-time Pro Bowler. His Super Bowl completed pass percentage of 88% against the Denver Broncos in Super Bowl 21 is a record that still stands today. His television career saw him start with ESPN and NBC before becoming a lead analyst working in the broadcast booth with Jim Nantz at CBS. He currently works for CBS on its popular pregame show, The NFL Today. It is indeed my distinct pleasure to bring you legendary quarterback and sports broadcaster Phil Simms. Phil, a virtual welcome to Central New York, to Syracuse, and to Boy Power.
Well, hey, listen, thank you so much, Doug. Great to be here today for the Boy Scouts of America. First and foremost, just want to say hi to you and everybody out there. And I want to give a great congratulations to Jim Brewer for being the honoree. And of course, most of all, got to give a big shout out to Pinnacle for being a sponsor of this event. So it's a great event, and I'm really honored to be part of it.
Now, you've been to Syracuse in the past, and you realize that this is a long-standing Giants town.
Oh, absolutely. I know that. I've been up there many times. I can't tell you as the years go by what I was exactly up there for most of them, but I gave a few speeches up there, had some groups that I talked to. And of course, I've been to the Carrier Dome a few times because my son, Matt, my youngest son, played for the University of Louisville. So it just so happened, just by sheer luck, I was covering the Buffalo Bills on that weekend. So on a Saturday, we got done with meetings. I drove to Syracuse, watched them lose to the Orange Men, got in a car, drove back to Buffalo, and did the game next day.
What a thrill, though, to see your sons compete.
Oh, well, yes, of course. It's, many things. This is going to be a theme that I say that everybody should understand and know and learn, or not learn, but just go, we're all geniuses after the fact. I wish I would have done different things when I played in my career. I wish I'd have been different when I grew up. And I'm sure everybody has those same feelings. And I wish I'd have raised my sons a little different and been a little more in control of their careers in football, especially when you're a quarterback or whatever. So, but that's, like I said, what do you do to make sure that doesn't happen in your life is listen to the people that have the experience, that have already gone through it, to make sure you don't make the mistakes that they make. And that's teachers, parents, especially coaches, troop leaders. I say to all the kids that hear this to really remember that, because it is, I can see it when I'm talking to my kids and they kind of turn me off and go, whoa, 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 hey, listen to me. I'm telling you something that's really honest and true that you need to know and carry on in your life.
Talking about nurturing, scouting teaches discipline. Did you have a disciplined upbringing?
It's interesting. I would say yes, in some schemes or some ways, but of course, I have 8 kids. There was 5 boys, 3 girls, so there were 8 kids. My parents, they worked full time, all that, so we were on our own a lot to go. But I'd say yes, discipline. Yes, we got up every morning, all the kids. We made breakfast. We were like an assembly line. You cook the oatmeal, you cook the bread, you cook this, boom, done. All right, you wash, you bring, you put them up. And we did that every day of our lives all the way through high school, that kind of system. And so, yeah, there was a lot of discipline. My father was a tough man and raised us tough and raised us fast, too. In other words, we were working from early ages to help support our life and our house and all those things. So I look back and go, wow, it was hard. It wasn't like a lot of the other kids I grew up with. That man, it made me into the man that I am because I learned a lot of lessons early in life.
And how willing was your dad to turn you loose?
Well, I was I know we had a chance to talk a little, so I told you some stories that I'll tell everybody out here real quick. We live in such a different age now. We have to protect our kids. We all are, I think, maybe overprotective, but maybe that's not such a word anymore in this world now. But my father, with 5 boys and 3 girls, working, barely making ends meet, trying to just find enough food to feed us, things like that. And when you graduated high school, he would kind of look at you and go, now I didn't have this because I went on to college and played football, moved on, and never really moved back into the house. But he'd look at some of my brothers and go, you know what? Time for you to move out. This would be like a week after graduation in high school. And the reason was, and of course my brothers would go, well, where am I going to go? He goes, that's not my problem. That's your problem. Find a place, live with one of your little buddies in their apartment, and then you just make it work. But I want you out this weekend. And I say this story, and people a lot of times don't believe it. My wife, who I had just married, was sitting next to me and saw my youngest brother get that treatment. He went to college, but he was living at home, working, poured a glass of tea, and sat down at the table with my wife and I, my mom and my dad, and my brother. And my dad looks and goes, well, that's a lot of ice in that cup or that glass. And then my brother looks and goes, oh, well, whatever. Then he gets up and pours another glass of tea. My dad goes, you're going to have another glass of tea? He goes, you know what? You're moving out this weekend. That was the end. So I saw that a few times with my other brothers. But you know what? Makes you grow up fast. You get responsible, and you find out, even though you have nowhere to go, you find a place to go and you make it work.
Your dad had such a huge impact on you. Did your dad like sports?
No, he loved sports. He really loved them. He was a baseball player growing up. I was born on a farm. Thank God we left early in my life. I was in the second grade, we left, but he grew up on a farm, so he was a big baseball player. Would play in the travel leagues in the summer. Gosh, this would be way back. I mean, my dad would be, in his 90s now. So when he was young, he was traveling from town to town to play summer baseball. Big deal. He was a baseball pitcher, loved it, and I basically grew up in Louisville, Kentucky. So he was two things: a huge Cincinnati Reds fan and a huge Cleveland Browns fan, because at that time, Cleveland was Louisville, Kentucky's local team.
And there was a pretty good running back for Cleveland those days.
Oh, yeah, Jim Brown. You asked me yesterday, hey, Jim Brown was like my first hero in sports, because I was young, really young, and I loved the Cleveland Browns game, because that's all we got back then, one game a week on TV. And watching them, seeing Jim Brown play and all that. And if they were losing, we'd be complaining, and my dad would go to all of us, get out. Go outside and play sports or play football, do whatever you want and whatever. And then, of course, 10 minutes later, 50, he raised the window, Brown scored. And, and we thought, oh, well, good. We were the jinx. We got out of the house and they were, turned out to score or whatever. But they had good team. And it seemed like they always played. It was always on dirt field in Cleveland. Back then, the NFL, like every field was made of dirt. But really good memories of Jim Brown. And the great thing is, I had a chance to meet him a couple times. He came on a show with us at Showtime. He told, of course, incredible stories. And when the show was over, I looked at him, I said, man, this was great, Mr. Brown. I said, I would love to come out to LA for a week and hang out for a few days with you, if that's okay. And he just goes, I bet you would. And that was the conversation. So, but his stories and his way of talking and his thoughts are really, to this day, are just magnificent.
Were you a natural athlete?
Well, I don't know what you call a natural athlete, but, I would say yes. I mean, I was. Just because I had three brothers, a dad, I had a younger brother too. I mean, we played sports constantly. If there was nothing to do, we were bored, we'd go in the backyard and play pitch. Who does that now? We went out and just threw the ball. Then we played a game of strikeout as a pitcher, ball, two, whatever. We threw grounders to each other. We played pepper. My gosh, some of the kids out there go, what's pepper? Well, you'd get 3 or 4 guys to stand there and throw the ball to a guy about 7, 8, 10 feet away from you, and he just hit little balls, grounders, and that. So, yeah, I mean, I picked up every sport easy. I was a really good shooter in basketball, a very good baseball player, I think. But, bowling, tennis, golf, ping pong, pool. I mean, I'm not bragging by any means, but I was good in all of them. All those sports just came easy to me.
Well, my question is, how did you have the epiphany? Sounds like you had a lot of baseball in you. How'd you have that epiphany to go to football?
I love baseball. I really did. It is like the old movie. I don't know who said it. Was it Kevin Costner in the game?
Field of Dreams?
No, not Field of Dreams, where he's the baseball pitcher. But whatever. I don't know what movie it was. But putting the glove to your face and smelling the leather. I mean, that was really true. How much I loved it. I just playing short, third, pitching, first base, whatever. Just to smell the leather of that glove and played it. I started playing baseball organized at the age of 8, and I did excel in it, and I was one of those little league phenoms and all that stuff. Very good in high school. Played summer baseball after my first 2 years of college, and in the middle of the second year, my sophomore year was over for football. I'm home working out for football, and then going to night games for baseball. And about halfway through the season, I go, "What am I doing?" And I told my dad I was going to quit. He was really not upset, but he tried to talk me out. I said, "No." He goes, "You think you're going to make it in football?" I said, "Dad, I'm going to make it. I know." I'd already kind of been told, even as a sophomore, that look, you're going to make it. You're going to be drafted and have a chance to play in the NFL. So I switched full time to football, and it worked out pretty good.
And for college, you go to Morehead State.
Yes, because they're the only ones that offered me a football scholarship. That was it. Morehead State. And West Point also wanted me to come up, and I went, I don't know if I'm ready to go to West Point, as it was. And I had a hard time moving away from home. My first year was tough because I got homesick I think a lot of kids do. But I went down there, was fortunate enough. They offered me. We threw the football a little compared to what other teams were doing. In those days, we threw more than they did probably. And I had a chance to start 4 years. We never had a winning record. We weren't very good, but it was a great experience. And, look, I have fond thoughts about Morehead State because they're the ones that gave me the chance to become a pro football player.
Being an athlete and working on yourself physically, mentally, so on, is very much an individual act. But as we all know, football, to be successful, you've got to have a team. So as scouting teaches teamwork, when did you realize that being individually gifted, you had to embrace teamwork?
Yeah.
How young were you?
I was really young. I'm going to say, no later, maybe my 8th grade year at worst. I'm being very conservative. By the time I was a freshman, I really understand the grand scope of football. And it does have a lot of, sports and this, the scouts all over America. We have a lot in common. We learn by discipline, teamwork, all those things that we all want to have in our life. And, to this day, and it will for the scouts too, when you do something together and it's hard and then you accomplish it, man, that is a great feeling. It's so much better to have to accomplish something with a big group of people who you can share the joy with than just doing it on an individual basis, whatever that is. So, that to this day, I go before I go to bed, I make a list of things that I want to accomplish the next day. And I learned that through football. One thing, being on time. You know what being on time means, Doug? What is being on time? That means literally be there a minimum of 15 minutes before you're supposed to be there. Things like that. I do it. I was never late once or anything for every meeting in my whole football life, high school, college, or pros. And I think to the Scouts of America, Boy Scouts of America, just say all these great lessons you learn and learning now, I promise you, they will carry over into the rest of
Phil, when Donovan McNabb got drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles, the stadium that night erupted in boos. The New York Giants drafted you number 1.
Yes.
How was that? How was the reaction?
Well, it wasn't received very well by the New York writers and the public and all that. And, it was so surprising to them that I don't think the reaction was as bad as it could have been. Back then it wasn't on ESPN, so it wasn't followed like it is now. If that happened in today's world now, like out of nowhere, and somebody like me got drafted in the first round with the seventh pick, there would be an outcry by everybody in America because everybody follows all these things. But you know what? It didn't faze me. I knew I was going to be picked by the Giants before that week of the draft. And I just remember saying to somebody, "Oh man, people in New York will love this," and I laughed about it. And Pete Rozelle, I've heard many things. He was the commissioner of football. He announced it, but I think he did it twice. And the second time he did it with a smile on his face, like because he wanted the more crowd reaction. And the Giants draft Bill Sims, Morehead State. So all the booing, everything like that. But I never thought about it. It never bothered me. And hey, you know what? I played for the Giants. They booed me a lot of times in that stadium too. But you just keep on going.
What an exhilarating night, though, for Phil Simms and the Simms family. Now, you come to the New York Giants, and you're playing with Lawrence Taylor and Syracuse graduate Joe Morris. I mean, there was some talent on that team.
Oh, yeah. Well, of course. When you win as many games as we did and win 2 Super Bowls, you got to have great talent. Lawrence Taylor was a huge factor in that. We had a tremendous coach in Bill Parcells. It wasn't his coaching, it was his psychological, he psychologically just worked on you to get you to try to perform better. So, but Joe Morris, Syracuse, listen, he carried us to the Super Bowl in 1986. He was unbelievable. We had a stretch of years where, Joe was the main focal point of our offense. And we knew a lot of times that I would become the main focal point big time because we knew the other team's going to go, we're going to stop Joe Moore. So those kind of games sometimes like good, stop him because I want to throw it more. And but Joe was a great teammate. He still lives here in the area, and I can remember it like it's yesterday. 1986, San Francisco, divisional round. Give him a toss. He runs like 50 yards, makes a cut. And I said something to him on the sideline. I just go, "You're great. You're great." I just said it in a certain way, and it was an awesome moment for me. And Joe was just like I said, a tremendous team.
What did Bill Parcells teach you about leadership and being prepared for the moment?
Well, Bill, I don't know how many people out there still, like the young kids, are going, "Who's Bill Parcells?" Well, he's probably the Vince Lombardi of my era. When I grew up, I heard about Vince Lombardi. Bill Parcells was not tough. He was beyond that. And when I say that, I mean psychologically, physically, every day was the most important day of our lives. And, he pressured us. Sometimes, no matter what we're in, what company, what group, Boy Scouts of America, football, whatever, you need pressure and learn to deal with it. And we learned to deal with it because he constantly put it on us. One morning, I walk in there at 7:30. I'm the first guy in the stadium. Bill happened to be sitting in the locker room. And immediately, as soon as I walk in, he goes, "Hey, Sims." I can hear the tone of this. "Come here. I mean, how many passes did you complete yesterday?" And I said, I'm stuttering. He goes, "Well, I'll tell you how many you did. Not very many." This is practice we're talking about. And I tell you what, I couldn't sleep all night. I'm tossing and turning. And my wife says, "What's the matter, Bill?" He goes, "My quarterback can't complete a pass." And so this is truly at 7:30. So from 7:30 to 2:30 until we went to practice, that's all I was thinking about. I mean, my nerves were frayed. And I went out to practice, and my wide receiver coach said something to me. "I'll warn the wide receivers the football might be coming a little fast today." I said something I can't repeat here. I said, "That's right, you tell him because I'm going to let it go." But that was typical Bill to put pressure on you like that. Not to be long, but real quick. 84, my job is on the line. His career is on the line. Both of us. First game of the year against the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm walking out of the locker room. He sees me and goes, "Hey, Sim, if you don't throw at least 2 interceptions today, you're not taking enough chances. Man, be daring, let it go." And that was his way of releasing pressure and letting you be the person that or achieve what you're capable of achieving. So he was great at it. It was tough for 8 years working with him, but that's one of the reasons why we won so many games.
Two-time Super Bowl champion, but I'd like to talk about the first one, Super Bowl 21, January of 1987. What a night for you and the Giants. I'd love it if you would take us into the locker room and onto the field for that phenomenal 39-20 victory over the Denver Broncos and John Elway. And your night individually, 22 of 25 completions, 88%, a record that still stands, and actually it may stand forever. 88% completion mark, 3 touchdowns, you're named the MVP. What can you tell us from locker room to field to back to halftime and completing that incredible night?
You know, Doug, I've asked this question a lot, and it's interesting. The whole week leading up to the Super Bowl, we were really playing well as we could possibly play. So we were, I guess you would say, hot at the time, and we practiced great. And I remember the locker room before the game, players kind of quiet, but I thought the coaches were definitely showing nerves as I was watching them. We go to stand in the tunnel, which was one of the great moments of my life in sport. In Pasadena, California, the Rose Bowl. We're in the tunnel, waiting to be introduced, just looking out going, wow, this is a great moment. You know, it really was just everything you think it would be, even more. And then I'm enjoying the moment. We're going to introduce the defense, so we get to run out. And then I look to one of them to my right, one of my offensive linemen is just crying his eyes out. And I go, whoa, okay, that's a little worrisome. And then I'm not going to name the name, but I had another tackle behind me. He's throwing up. And I just, oh, hell, we're choking in the tunnel. And, but that was just part of it. We ran out in the field, all that. We played the game. You know, it's amazing. The game goes so fast. And I just remember that there's one thing about playing sports. Just, it's a cliche, but just stay in the moment. Don't think about winning and losing, what you've done. Just play the play. And it was just one of those days where I really did that and never worried about losing because I had passed it. You know why? Because if we'd have lost, no matter how I played, they were going to blame me. And I knew that. And you know what? I didn't care. So I'm really fortunate it worked out. That's why I'm talking to you today. That's why I work at CBS. And everything truly is just because of that game and the fact that we were fortunate enough to win a couple of Super Bowls.
When did you know you had the game? I mean, you're going to be Super Bowl champions.
Well, I knew we were going to win the game, and I threw a flea flicker to Bill McConkey, I think, to put us up 26-10. And he got tackled at the 1, and Syracuse's Joe Morris, as usual, took it on in there for the score. And I thought, okay, 26-10, late third quarter, the Denver Broncos, nobody can score that many points against our defense. So that's when I really thought, once I completed, I said, oh my gosh, we're going to win this thing now. And from there, we actually added on a couple more touchdowns. So that was the moment I knew we were going to
win. When you reach a zenith moment like that, how did you feel? How did you feel the next day, the next week, the next camp?
Well, I was pretty calm after the victory, pretty calm that night in the hotel. We had a party, and I just was sitting talking to people, taking a few pictures with some of my teammates' kids and having some fun that way. But, you know, I think it hit me when I was home. We came home and on a Monday after the Super Bowl, and Tuesday morning I woke up for a little gathered. Back then we weren't allowed to have the parade in New York City because Mayor Koch says no. You know, you have it out. We had it in the Meadowlands, just a gathering at the stadium. But we woke up, I looked at my wife, and we really oh my gosh. And we, Doug, the chase, like everything in life, the chase is so challenging. And really, I love the chase. But I never sat there and thought that I was ever going to finish it and get what I want. And to do that, just a smile on our faces for quite a while that off season were genuine. It was awesome. And then, it was just a great feeling to finally, even Lawrence Taylor, after the victory, we won. He goes, well, what are we going to do now? Because the chase is over. Well, let's rest up and let's see if we can make another chase at this thing.
You retire, but you remain very much connected to the game you love by getting into sports broadcasting.
Well, just by luck. That's all it was. I planned on being a coach my whole life. I prepared to be a coach when I got done playing. I saved notes. I wrote down speeches that coaches gave us. I'd write down notes on Bill Parcells on my game plan thing. I said, oh, that's clever. If I ever coach, I'm going to get that out somewhere. It'll fit a good moment, whatever. But I had a really good year in 1993 with Dan Reeves as coach. We went to the playoffs, won a game. I really played well the whole year. And at the end of the year, they waited till I think, I'm going to say almost May, maybe it was April. I forget. Dan Reeves says, hey, can I see you in my office after you're done working out? I said, sure. I thought he was going to ask me to sign some autographs. And I went up there and he goes, I could see it in his face. He goes, I don't know what you call it, not being scared, but just a terrible moment. He goes, Bill, I really got some bad news. And I go, what, Dan? What could be so bad? He goes, we're releasing you. And I just went, really? And he goes, yeah, we got to release you. Decision made by the organization because it was the first year of the salary cap in 1994. And, I did have a first-round quarterback sitting behind me who was never going to play as long as I was there. So after 15 years, they let me go, and I was kind of in limbo. Do I go play for another team? I had some great offers. But then ESPN called me and said, do you want to try out for a show? I thought, I'll go do it. I'll just try it out and see what it's like. And I had fun with it. Didn't think nothing of it. They hired me. So that started my TV career. And then I went to NBC and did games, and then CBS. And now I'm in the CBS studio. So, but Doug, to tell you this, my wife, about once every 2 or 3 months ago, you should have coached. And I go, okay, I know. I regret it too. It's a regret in my life. I wanted to be a coach, and but that's not going to happen. And you know why she wanted me to be a coach? Because you live for Sunday. The thrill. Are we going to win or lose? That's the whole thing. That's what keeps people going in the NFL. It's hard, but the thrill of being on the field and just the anxiety and all the great things that you get that are hard to get sometimes, and to have the thrill, the accomplishment of winning, she loved that part of it, and we miss it.
Both your sons followed you into football,
yes,
pro football, and one into journalism.
Oh, yes, my oldest son, Christopher, played. He was unfortunately got hurt really bad in Tampa, lost his spleen, but he hung in and played the league a few more years after that, which was great. But I think he would have had a tremendous career. But he is working for NBC now, doing well, very opinionated, and has a lot of fun at it. But he loves football. And my youngest son, Matt, he played for the Jets for a couple of years, and then he spent a training camp with the Buffalo Bills, which he had a great time and actually played really well in the preseason. They let him go, and then he caught on with the Atlanta Falcons. And so they both played. They both loved the sport. They got talent, of course. They can really throw it. And it's pretty neat to have the fact that I played and have two sons that were fortunate enough to make it in the NFL.
Before we wrap this up, what do you expect in the NFL for 2020?
I feel positive right now to all the fans out there. If you're a Giant fan, which I know there's a lot of them up in Syracuse, but I'm sure over the last couple of years, a lot of those Giant fans might be turning into Bills fans, Doug, because the Bills are truly building something special up there. And but I'm more positive now than I have been in the last 2 months that the season will start on time. Probably will start with empty stadiums, then maybe slowly incorporate some people. That would be the best scenario we can hope for. But I just hope that we find a way to get NFL football on TV this coming fall.
Phil, you're a true leader and a great champion. Thank you so very much for joining us here this evening, and thank you for your sincere support of Scouting.
Well, thank you, Doug. Look, it was an honor to be on here today, and I just want to say to everybody out there, I hope you're staying safe and staying well. And to the Scouts of America, everything, what a great organization. There's nothing like, being part of a group, and like I talked earlier, just to enjoy that, to make friends, to integrate. Wow, it's almost like being in the locker room as an athlete. Just everybody, there's a way of this, it works. And I just wish continued success to everybody. So thank you for having me on.
Wasn't that fun? What a legend and a true champion. Phil, thank you so much for your expertise, insight, and stories to our Boy Power audience. Well, we're nearly finished with this historic event, but in a few moments, we will make history. A final reminder that by texting Boy Power to 44321, you can send a scout to camp, and it sends a powerful message that you do care about the future of Scouting. We also have great items and experiences in our online silent auction. Our limited edition silver and bronze Boy Power Scout Power coin sale, and the auction for the #1 silver coin, first of 50 numbered coins cast in silver. All items can be viewed and all bids can be entered by going to cnyscouts.org/boypower. Please remember, the online silent auction is open until 11:59 p.m. Sunday night, but the auction for the #1 silver coin closes tonight at 9 p.m. So make sure you get your bid in and bid to win.
Hi, I'm Greg, and thanks to our Send a Scout to Camp sponsor, Tompkins Trust Company, I've been given the opportunity to be the leader for our National Honor Society for Scouts.
Hi, I'm Sydney. Thank you to Syracuse University for your donation. Because of you, I'm headed to the National Jamboree in West Virginia.
Hi, I'm Nate, and I would like to thank the presenting sponsor, the Pinnacle family of companies, for your donation, because thanks to your donation, I have been able to camp in 4 different states.
Hi, I'm Natalie, and I'd like to thank Dupli Envelopes and Graphics for their generous donation. Because of them, I could teach younger scouts water skills in the Adirondacks.
Well, guys, our time here tonight's come to an end.
Well, this isn't our usual gathering. We can't wait to be together.
We thank you so much for your generosity in these trying times. See you next May.
Wait, there's one more thing.
Boy Power is nationally known. It has a great history. But starting tomorrow,
Boy Power is Scout Power!
Isn't that exciting? It's not that often you get a chance to witness an historical announcement for such an iconic event. And you know what that means. The #1 silver coin is not only the 10th year we've offered a custom coin, it's the last Boy Power coin and the very first Scout Power coin, all rolled into one. So now, who wants it? Before we go, we have one more exciting announcement. A word now from our chairman, Mark Mathumby.
Thank you, Doug. As the chair of the 2020 Boy Power event, one of my last duties is actually to announce the great work with your support and the milestone that we've reached. I'd like to announce that we actually raised $500,000 that helps scouting in Central and Northern New York. Thank you so much for your support in this year's event.
That's phenomenal. Congratulations, Mark, for your outstanding leadership, and thank you to you and your outstanding team. We believe this is the most successful Boy Scouts of America virtual fundraiser in history, anywhere in the nation. We thank you all. We hope you enjoyed your evening with our Scouts, and thank you once again to all who donated, sponsors, in-kind services, and tickets purchased. We're extremely grateful you made local scouting a priority in your charitable giving. On behalf of the thousands of Scouts and Scouters, once again, thank you from the bottom of our heart. We'll see you next May for Scout Power. So long for now.
On behalf of the thousands of Cub Scouts, Scouts, Venturers, Sea Scouts, and Explorers,
Thank you for your support.